Hi everyone, and welcome to the Cancer January mid-month engagement reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, which is a place to help you connect with your spiritual importance. So this mid-month reading is meant to help you engage your unique internal singular spirit or self with your external environment so that you can better understand and utilize your spiritual importance and to be able to see how it can be of service to the greater collective experience. So what are we going to be looking at today? We're going to be looking at the concepts of curiosity, courage, and contemplation. So I'm going to be pulling cards for messages around where to be curious for the second half of the month, where you should be taking action, courage to take action, and then a point of contemplation or reflection to kind of tie the whole reading together. And why do I focus on the principles of curiosity, courage, and contemplation? Because this is, for me, what I call the Triad of Engagement, which is a coaching tool that I utilize in my practice to help keep us as unique individuals engaged in an authentic way with our external environment so that we don't ever just let our unique spirit kind of go by the wayside and us just go through the day-to-day motions disconnected. All right, so I'm going to start pulling a card here. We're going to pull a Power of Surrender card for the concept of curiosity. So this is going to be where Spirit would like you to kind of open yourself up to, and where you kind of need to be curious because something's coming in for you around this energy. So we have Cancer. It says surrender negative thinking. It says you have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. Beautiful card. Good energy to finish the second half of this month off, especially because we are entering into a Mercury retrograde. We still have Venus retrograde in Capricorn, and there's just a lot of energy that is kind of slow moving. We're going to feel a little bit like we're going backwards, but it's all in an effort for us to kind of reprioritize ourselves and who we are. It actually really gets down to taking a look at your spiritual importance. So surrender negative thinking is a wonderful way to go into a period where we're highly reflective. And sometimes when we go into a place where we're highly reflective, we can kind of go down the negative rabbit hole of where we're kind of beating ourselves up for things that possibly haven't happened the way that we wanted them to, or where maybe we feel that we haven't taken action in the way that we should have, or where we were hoping and expecting a certain result and it hasn't manifested in the way that we were wanting. And what this card is saying is if you can just be curious and open yourself up to, if you put all that negative thinking aside, meaning when you start to think about the what ifs, change it a little bit to open yourself up to say, well, what if this happened instead of the negative thing that I'm fearful is going to happen? So meaning maybe you're applying for a job and you haven't heard back. And instead of thinking, well, I haven't heard back and this is probably because they don't want me and I probably am never going to get another job and I'm going to be stuck at this old job forever. Instead, stop that, surrender that negative thinking and change the perspective of to start to think, well, what if I do get this job? What if the reason why I haven't heard back is because the company is taking this position very seriously and I end up getting the opportunity to work for a company that doesn't just kind of hire off the cuff, so to speak. And what if I do get this opportunity of growth and potential? What's that going to look like? How is that going to change my life moving forward? Why do I want this new job so much? And you start to kind of, when we're curious, we start to open ourselves up. We start to realize the why behind. So we're asking Spirit why. Spirit's asking a question of us. What would happen if you surrender negative thinking? And then in turn, we start to ask those questions. Well, wait a second. What if I didn't beat myself up for not taking more action last year and now I feel like I'm a little bit behind the game? Or what if, and you start to change that. What if I actually said, I did the best I could. I did the best I could with what I had in that time period. And you know what? I think I did that. And I feel that Spirit now is going to help me see why I wasn't able to do more in an area that I'm I keep kind of hyper-focusing on. So this is a beautiful point to be curious about. We all need to be reminded of this, but specifically Cancer, I think with the full moon being in your sign in just a few days, there's going to be this beautiful illumination for you coming just around the corner of really being able to see yourself in kind of all of your shining intuitive glory. And I think this is kind of preparing you for that. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to pull some animal oracle cards now for the concept of courage. And this is where Spirit would like you to be aware of kind of what you need to know around the concept of having the courage to take action. So as you're starting to think about what you're going to be doing for the second half of January, this is going to be a little bit of a nudge in the right direction or something to keep in mind as you are taking action. And sometimes we get to that point. I always link action with courage because it's difficult. Okay, that's way too many. I'm sorry, guys. There's like 6 cards there. 3 maybe, 6 a little too much. Let's see if we can get Spirit to kind of, oh, there we go. Okay. So I always link courage with action because it takes courage to make those decisions, to follow ourselves, to honor ourselves in the actions and the decisions that we choose to make and take. So we have Brown Bear Spirit. It says, take time out, number 9. And it says, dear Spirit, bring a gentle touch, number 18, also breaking down to a number 9. So there's strong energy here of the ending of a cycle. And I think this is kind of what you're being told. It goes along with the surrender negative thinking. There's something that's coming to a close. You've learned quite a few lessons, and it's meant as a time right now, I think it's a time of reflection, to realize how much you've grown. And instead of looking at it in a negative way of all the things maybe you feel you haven't done or wanted to do, it's about looking at it instead in the opposite way. Look at how far you have come. Look at how much you have done. And we've all had our hands, so to speak, kind of tied behind our back due to the pandemic. And so what we were able to accomplish in that time is quite extraordinary. And we all have to give ourselves the credit for whatever we were able to accomplish. So this month, for the second half of this month, I think this is all about kind of getting yourself ready to have, again, that reconnection and that illumination to and of your personal spiritual significance, and to really see how strong you are. And I really feel that if you can do this, if you can kind of lean into having this kind of open, optimistic viewpoint, that you're going to see something within yourself that's going to almost be like seeing yourself, seeing your own personal power with fresh eyes, and understanding that because there's going to be probably an opportunity coming through, and you're going to have to kind of be able to be in that optimistic, confident mindset to be able to take advantage of it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull some clarifier cards here for these 2 cards just to get a little extra message. It might be a specific message for just 1 or 2 of you, but there could also be kind of a larger overarching message. So let's see. Oh, we have the 10 of Pentacles. I love it. Cancer, goodness. So 10 of Pentacles is about that kind of ultimate fulfillment of what you're working towards as your lasting legacy in the physical. And the Empress. Okay, well, I think this is phenomenal. So Empress and the 10 of Pentacles shows me that you're in this place of understanding your own ability to create your life experience, to create the abundance you want. You are coming into, when I see the Empress and I see the 10 of Pentacles here, I actually see the Emperor card, which is interesting because that's obviously the masculine energy component, or other half of the Empress. But there's this feeling here of the Emperor quality coming through, that masculine, but this time you're stepping into the feminine, which Cancer, you carry a feminine energy. You tend to be the archetypal mother type energy just as being part of the zodiac. You are a cardinal sign, and so you really are one to kind of lead from feminine energy. And that's really what I feel you're kind of being asked to do here, is to surrender into this beautiful feminine energy. And feminine energy is bringing stuff in to create. It's not about the masculine energy, which is more about outward pushing. And that's kind of what I'm feeling is really coming through here for the second half of this month when it says take a time out and bring a gentle touch. It's almost like stepping back into that archetypal mother energy of bringing it back to yourself, taking in all that you are, taking in all that you have, all the support around you, to be able to, as we move into February, really start to create towards, if this makes sense, your 10 of Pentacles. You're not pushing towards your 10 of Pentacles, you're just creating it in your current space in the present moment, just by being you. It's kind of a hard concept to understand, but I think by the end of this month, you will understand what that means. All right, so I'm gonna now, for the final point here of contemplation, we're gonna pull another oracle card for something to keep in mind, a reflective point that as you're moving through the second half of this month, to kind of hold yourself accountable to the energy of this card, that as you're reflecting day to day as to what you've done, where you've taken action, if you're trying to surrender those negative thoughts and turn them into kind of a positive open thought pathway, that this is kind of an overarching message to keep in mind. Are you kind of living with this energy? So we have deep knowing, number 43 breaking down to a 7. Number 7 is about having a divine pause of reflection to be able to consult with spirit, which the deep knowing, this is such a Cancer type card. You guys are all about the intuition. And I think that's what you're being reminded of. With your January full month reading that I put out a couple weeks ago, the theme was coming into a place where you are kind of walking your path on faith, where you are reconnecting with spirit and understanding kind of just almost like the Jesus take the wheel kind of feeling of leaning into it. It may seem dark and scary, but you, more than any other sign, has that ability to go within and kind of feel the way forward even in the darkest places. And that's really what's coming through here again, is you reconnecting with that part of yourself that is your internal compass, that is your direct tie to spirit. And it's almost like you need to kind of go within and understand and remember that that's a superpower of yours. And you may not be able to see the way forward in your physical environment, but Spirit's saying, remember, it's within you. This is almost like the Yoda moment of saying, you, like Luke, you have the power is within you. It is that moment of, wow, I understand the level of, I think, power that you guys don't realize you have in affecting change in your external environment in the way that you want. You don't realize just how much you have the ability to kind of tweak from within all these little things that you need to do to suddenly see the giant, larger shift that's coming in for you guys. I really think this is a powerful month. I hope you guys enjoy the Cancer full moon. I think it's on, I can't remember, somewhere. It's like in between the 17th and the 20th, I think. And if you guys would like to illuminate your own personal spiritual importance and to see how it can be of service to yourself and others, you can click on the link below in the description box to book a personal reading or a one-on-one coaching session. And Cancer, I look forward to reading for you in February, and I hope you guys all have that wonderful point of illumination before the end of this month. Bye, guys.